previously on Get Out Alive.
Best way to do this is gonna be straight off this cliff.
The teams faced a dangerous rappel down a deadly sheer rock face.
My knee just popped so hard.
Hey, do you guys need to switch out?
Jeff allows his injury to influence his attitude.
Whoa.
When it came time to build a shelter, Ryan and Madeline were out of their depth.
I'm gonna get a bunch of branches, make a big circle around that fire.
I'm not sure that was going to protect us from the wind.
Probably gonna get sent home for this idea.
Jim and Austin couldn't get the fire going,
Need help?
so had to use the emergency fire steel,
How many hours till daylight?
failing in their task. At the fire carry survival test, Jim and Austin redeemed themselves, giving them much needed safety from elimination. And at elimination,
People keep going home because they make bad shelters. Royce, who should go home?
Jeff. I just think he's detrimentally headstrong.
If I saw a man with his injuries, I wouldn't criticize. I would shoulder it. Carl and Royce, I just don't think you get out alive.
coming up, the turbulent helicopter ride pushes Madeline to a breaking point.
From here on, it's all downhill.
The teams cross a treacherous glacier. The icy terrain intensifies Jeff's injury.
I think we need to crank this engine up.
Weighed down by a frozen mountain goat, teams fight exhaustion as they struggle to get to overnight camp. At the survival test, everything is on the line.
Whoever wins is guaranteed you get a shot at the $500,000 grand prize.
Hit it! Keep going.
Go, Dad, go! Come on, come on, come on!
Then at elimination, the chance for $500,000 is over for one more team.
Don't talk yourself down, you're better than that. I'm just not sure you will get out alive.
Last night at Bears camp, Royce said I was pessimistic, and I'm extremely frustrated right now still about the whole thing. So you put the short sleeve on, then the long sleeve?
Yeah.
Just trying to find the easiest way to pack all this in here. All right. If I was pessimistic, there's no way I would be here right now. And I think at this point, I even more so want to prove that I could tackle anything.
Okay, let's gather up. As I said at the start of all of these journeys, you want to impress me, do so with your actions, not your words. Where you're going now, small mistakes, big consequences. Pack an extra bag of fortitude. Let's go and draw knives.
Last night was a tough elimination, and I think we were on rock bottom.
Okay, you know the score. Line up.
All these journeys are 10 times harder than I ever expected them to be. But you have to do something drastic like this to really find out what you're capable of.
Today I'm going to introduce you to an incredible lady. She's called Isabel, and she's a glacier.
This is one of the most dynamic and unpredictable environments on the planet. You get freezing temperatures, the whole thing is constantly moving and changing, and that means crevasses, many of which can be hundreds of feet deep. Every step up there matters.
I almost died myself falling in a big crevasse on Everest. Don't underestimate these things. Be careful how you move. First time now, 4 teams, 4 tasks, 4 knives. I like it. Okay, first up, Jim and Austin, come and draw a knife. Let's see what you're in charge of. Okay, obstacle. You've got to respect this glacier. Okay, your job is to get the group across it safely and avoid those crevasses.
We feel very lucky to have won the survival test last time because we did not perform well in our task. So our performance in Journey 7 is do or die.
Jeff and Chris, come and draw a knife. Food. Okay, I'll stash your dinner down a gnarly crevasse. It's like nature's refrigerator. It's gonna be tough to access. Work hard. That's your source of energy. Okay, next up, Lucky and Louie. Shelter. Okay, all you've got is what you find up there. You've got to find protection, though, from the wind.
Drawing the shelter knife made you feel vulnerable. You got to be pretty good with your imagination to try to figure out what you're going to do up on a glacier for shelter for people.
Right, Madeline? Probably figured it out. Fire. There's no fuel up there. You're using hexamin blocks to cook and to melt the snow. Be efficient in how you use them. Okay, who's got the money? Good man, Jim. Tasks are set. Journey awaits. We're out of here.
Ryan's got huge shoulders, so half my body I felt like was hanging out the side of the helicopter. I was just so scared.
We hit some really bad air pockets and gusts of wind that were tossing the helicopter around back and forth. She started panicking and not getting any air.
You know, I survived a nearly fatal car accident, and I mean, that helicopter was shaking, and we were up super high. I'm trying to give it everything I've got, but at the same time, it's just really, really hard. Ryan was sitting there whispering in my ear, baby, it's gonna be okay. And that's when I really started calming down. I've really seen the true Ryan out here, and I love him so much.
As we started to approach the glacier, we could see Bear standing on the edge of a cliff with his arm raised, signaling to the pilot where we needed to land. Half the helicopter was on this cliff, the other half was just hovering off the edge. And it was about a 3,000-foot drop right on the other side.
We did a hot landing right there, where the helicopter didn't actually land. Just kind of hovers there and you jump out. The glacier on one side, this huge cliff on the other.
It's pretty terrifying to be on the edge of a helicopter. Looking over, I see the runners on nothing and it falls into space. And Bear was like, that's good, come on out. We were like, don't we want to land first?
I never, absolutely never in my life dreamt I would ever get to be on top of a glacier, and I realized how fortunate we are to make it this far along in this.
Feels like top of the world, eh?
Yeah!
Woo! Wow. Beautiful. Good news is that from here on, more or less all downhill. Bad news. Coming up.
Was there a huge drop-off?
Yeah.
Wait.
My knee just gave out.
I can't do it.
And later. This is probably the worst tasting thing that has ever crossed my lips. Gotta get out alive, guys. Good news is that from here on, more or less all downhill. bad news is between here and your campsite is one of nature's real minefields. This glacier riddled with these crevasses. That's why I want you guys to rope up. Obstacle team, Jim and Austin, you're gonna rope everyone together. One man goes down a crevasse, everybody else goes to ground. Dig your feet in, pull him out. See you down there. The obstacle team must guide everyone down to the glacier, then cautiously traverse the glacier to the food source, where they'll need to work with the food team to retrieve their evening meal.
We've reached the snow! Yeah, guys, it's a bit slick.
I think the dangers of this journey were apparent right from the very beginning.
You're pulling me!
Wait.
Wait! Whoa. We need to rope together. We can't get separated. If one of them goes down a crevasse, that's what's gonna save their life.
Take out some slack. Make sure we're tighter in case we do fall, we don't fall very far. We're good.
You're in life or death situations out here. I honestly don't think that Jim should have been at the back. If someone did fall in, you need stronger people at the back of the line to hold them.
Whoa, watch out for that big steep crack.
The most frightening thing about the crevasses, up here they can get snows that will drift over top of them.
I see holes.
There could be a void in that snow that could just disappear and you could be falling.
This is the crevasse that Bear said the food was gonna be in.
This is crazy.
Whoa. Who's going in the hole?
I'll do it.
Really?
Oh yeah, I see hooves. That's good.
That looks like a big animal.
Woo! We're gonna be having some good dinner!
Task this time around for the obstacle team was to help the food team. So I was sitting down, I had Jeff on the rope. I knew Jeff weighed more than I did. If he were to fall, all the weight would be on me. Okay, go ahead.
I'll never forget my first time on a glacier. It's an intimidating place to be.
Be very careful.
Those crevasses can be bottomless. Trying to maneuver them with an injury may not be such a smart idea. You can see that trepidation in them at the moment.
Hold on, there's not a lot of room around it.
Jim and Austin, I think they're both a bit weaker, which makes me uncomfortable.
I'm pretty much relying on Austin to save my life if it comes to that.
Was there a huge drop off?
Yeah.
We had to find a quick way of getting it out of there.
You definitely need a hoist test. This is gonna be super heavy.
Jeff was down there, we threw him some rope and looped it around its hoofs.
Alright, so can you keep tension on this one just a little bit? I just wanted two in case, because if it slips, it's
sure.
It's gone.
Sure.
It was scary for the fact that while we were pulling this out, if we fell in that crevasse, like, we were done.
Alright, ready? Pull. Pull. Pull.
Oh yeah!
It is a mountain goat. Look at that.
That's bigger than last time, fellas.
Alright, I'm coming back up, Austin. You and I.
Okay.
Alright, this could be kind of difficult. This isn't very solid, because I don't know which of this is going to fall off like that. You can take the slack, Austin.
Okay. Hey, Dad, you want to just swing up here just in case he slips?
Wait a minute.
Okay, what if I sit down and give you my shoe?
Hey guys.
He's got it.
Good job, Jeff.
Jeff is constantly, like his knees constantly hurt because of his accident. I know that Chris would have just gotten down that crevasse a lot faster, hooked up the goat, and we could have been out of there. So I felt like it was a bad decision on the food team's part.
Yeah, excellent work.
Nice.
Jeff, where's Jeff? You want to take the lead?
I'll take the lead. You drag it.
All right.
The food team is responsible for navigating the team up and off the glacier, where the shelter team will take over.
Look at those clouds, it's so cool. Those clouds just like hug that ridgeline.
It's amazing just looking around.
Yeah, I know.
It's beautiful.
The eighth wonder of New Zealand.
I'm extremely proud of my dad. He has pushed himself outside of his comfort zone and he's come to love it, I think.
This is phenomenal. This will keep me young, this kind of stuff, instead of just sitting in a rocking chair reading a book or something. So I wouldn't want to miss this, you know, for the world.
All right, guys, let's do this. Woo!
Hold on. Slow down on that.
Pull it up.
Do you want me to carry that, Jeff, or you got it? No, I'm good. I'll go ahead and start.
So let's keep this pace a good one.
I'll pull as hard as I can. Hold on.
I know Jeff has struggles with his knee, but we need to get to our destination as quick as possible, and we just need to make sure that we're all in that mindset.
Hold on, don't move.
Walk
A rope and pull it. I gotta get footing. This is.
You okay?
Whoa. Wait.
My knee just gave out.
I can't do it.
Coming up,
You need to come try to get this fire started.
No fire means no food, and I'm hungry right now.
This is frustrating.
and later.
Whoever wins is guaranteed to get a shot at the $500,000 grand prize.
Way to go, Austin.
Keep pulling.
Go, Jeff, go! Go!
Hold on, don't move.
Walk sideways.
Pull it. I gotta get footing. This is.
You okay?
Whoa. Wait.
Hold on, guys, hold on.
When my knee just gave out.
I can't do it.
You know, I feared for a moment there that I may have hurt myself, but I didn't. I got back up and I was pretty frustrated and angry, and I just used that anger to push myself.
Good job.
You know, he's my best friend for, 11 years or so. And, sometimes I feel like he overexerts himself, but, it's the stubborn side of him. But I'm really proud of him.
That's the best way you put it yet.
Think now shelter takes over?
Once we get the go to the top of the icy ridge, it was the shelter team's turn to take over, and that's my dad and I.
Do we want to make a stretcher?
Do we want to make a stretcher, guys?
I suggested us making a stretcher, as Bear has shown us before, only because it's going to be so much easier for the people who are carrying the go.
You want to do it?
Yeah, we're doing it.
I just wish we could have done it earlier,
At this point, we have taken so much time to traverse such a little patch of land.
We're getting so frustrated. I know. Hopefully we'll get there.
I would like them to be as tight as possible.
Let's try to get through this as quick as we can.
Wait, 2 shakes. Madeline didn't really help on the go or anything, which was the reason for the delays. It was just more of an annoyance, I think, than really being helpful.
Alright, I think we need to crank this engine up and roll out.
We're good to go whenever.
Holler if you need help. Ryan will help.
I think the easiest way, you guys, is round here and back up the rock.
Now the shelter team must navigate up and across a steep, slippery rock face into their overnight camp at the top of the mountain.
Whoa. Careful right here, guys.
There was a long haul from there to where camp was going to be.
People were just exhausted, mentally and physically. And we still had a fire to make and a shelter to make, and we didn't know what our campsite would look like.
So we might as well just keep going up.
You need help with anything, Jeff?
No, I'm good.
Alright, so we're climbing over this?
Yep.
Grip however you want.
Be careful.
Alright guys, here we are. So, shelter team, we're gonna scope out the area. Dad, you're with me? We get into camp and all we see around us is falling apart rock and a little bit of snow. That's it. We literally had zero supplies. No shovel, no tarps, no strings, no nothing.
Start here, go down, work to the...
Both sides?
Yeah.
I think there was a lot to do there for the food team. We had a whole goat, and we had to strap it up, skin it, and get everyone fed.
Okay, let's gather you round. Just stop what you're doing for a second. Let's sit down. Don't let it be said that I don't bring you good things. This is probably the worst tasting thing that has ever crossed my lips. Let me introduce you to the humble Wetter. They're vicious. Their jaws will literally clamp onto you and they'll draw blood. All right? It's time for Bear's Feast Pit. Okay, you grab it. Oh, oh, oh. Grab it by the head there. Can you see its jaws?
Yeah.
That's what you don't want getting you, okay? Even if the legs try and scratch you, don't waste them. There's one each. Okay, we ready? 1, 2, 3. Gotta get out alive, guys.
Oh!
You are awesome. I love you.
Oh.
Make sure to chew it all the way.
I mean, that taste is undescribable, isn't it? It doesn't go away.
No, that taste doesn't go away.
No.
My breath feels like I just ate a turd, literally.
Okay.
2 of them.
Now listen, I've just burnt into about 3 minutes of your time, which you're gonna need, but will be cold. High mountains, gets cold when that sun goes. All right? Final thing, sketch map for the fire team, Ryan and Madeline. Compass, don't get the group lost. Drop off these mountains the wrong way, you know all about it.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks. Oh my. All right.
Was that worse than the fish row?
No. That was way worse.
All right, watch out.
We gotta get busy here, guys.
Yeah.
I think emergency blanket
Okay.
and then pads.
Okay, cool.
I figured as long as people were out of the wind, they would do fine. But last time we were up high, it froze water hard, and we weren't this high, so it's gonna be cold.
I have no clue what to do with this.
Get those tablets out of the fire bag and strike up. Just go ahead and strike them up.
I was gonna start working on the fire. You know, I wasn't sure, you know, what I was getting myself into just because there was only hexamine tablets and 2 strikers. You can do it, you can do it.
There was a hiccup in getting the fire started.
Do we have a rock to cook on yet?
Jeff kind of pitched in trying to get the fire started just because Madeline couldn't get it going. I think she does the best that she can do.
Go on, you got it. It's so rewarding when you do it.
Yeah, maybe you can try a few times. Baby,
Yeah.
you need to come try to get this fire started.
Honestly, at this point, I'm so hungry and fed up that I was just going crazy because we could not get a fire going.
Hopefully, with Ryan and Jeff both working on it, we'll get it done.
In snowy conditions, fresh water can be hard to find, but don't be tempted to eat the snow. You can lower your body temperature fast. Instead, put the snow in your water bottle
place it between your layers, and melt it using your natural body heat. And that's my survival tip of the week, brought to you by Walmart, supplier of all your outdoor needs.
Still having a hard time lighting that plastic. Anything that we can think of that could light up.
They have one way of how to do something. They didn't really adapt or try anything different. You know, Bear said in one of the earlier base camps, we need to think smart.
What else do we have? Let me look.
Started freaking out a little bit. I just couldn't get the fire started.
I was honestly worried, you know, that we were gonna be in trouble at Bear's camp just because you never know when Bear's watching you.
Oh, there it is. There it is. All right, just use one of them.
Yay, guys!
We're saved.
My God.
Okay. So we got the fire going. We need to go ahead and get that rock on there, put some thin strips on it, and get this meat cooking.
It was so awesome to know that we were actually gonna have like some protein and meat for dinner.
Austin,
That's good, thanks. Look at the view here.
this is more than a 5-star restaurant right
top
here.
of the world. Yeah.
I know I'm really hungry right now, but I can honestly say this is the best meat I've ever had.
You guys have done a great job.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Great food.
You all did good.
Yeah. And they put this up while ago. The wind was coming from that way, but
Yeah, I think it's reverse direction.
yeah. I'm a little nervous about how cold it's gonna get tonight.
Okay.
It's gonna be pretty chilly if that wind is barreling up through this little crevasse right here. We're above a glacier. It's freezing up here. It's just gonna be a sucky night.
Hey, Chris. Good morning.
With that sun coming up on the top, I had to make sure that I was up to see that. Get up and
Anything
enjoy
else?
this. You know, that took me back 20-some years when the time she was newborn. I would put her in a backpack and I would walk the night away so that she could sleep. I'd walk miles around the quarry or around the pasture. I loved my daughter. And like in the time of just one night, I just saw her live her whole life again in front of me. It was just really neat.
I'm proud of us, Dad.
I'm real proud of us, baby.
I woke up at like probably 2:30 or 3, and I couldn't go back to sleep. I just laid there and watched the stars.
I was freezing when I woke up. I was like covered with frost.
And it was definitely really cold. By the time we went to bed, the wind had pulled a 180 and was coming from the total opposite direction. So the windbreak that was put up did no good. A little cold, isn't it? I just wish my toes would warm up. We have about 200, 250 meters. All right, let's do it.
Going into the survival test, we're really hoping that we can pull this one out. Hearing that everyone was cold when they woke up in the morning, I know we have to win this to be safe from elimination.
Morning, heroes.
Morning.
Still some smiles on the faces. Doesn't cost you any calories. Nice. Time for more BG survival training. As far as survival tests go, I'd say this is the big one. Up for grabs, that trip to the feast pit. Safety from elimination. But this time, whoever wins is guaranteed that chance to run this final journey. That means you get a shot at that $500,000 grand prize. Now, I know we're in spectacular mountains, but these mountains are also dangerous places. Only this week, a father and son were killed falling down a crevasse. But there is a way to quickly and efficiently recover an injured person. It's called a 3-in-1 hoist. It effectively reduces a 150-pound man to the weight of about 50 pounds. Again, speed, calm under pressure, resourcefulness. You're going to be using your own 3-in-1 hoist to recover a haul bag that's about the same weight as a child. On my go, one of each team is going to rappel down to that haul bag. You clip the haul line into it, leave the bag down there, you climb back up this manila rope. The haul bag line comes back up to a carabiner and a pulley. Creates effectively a Z. This is then the haul line. You give it the power, and once that bag comes over the lip, you win the survival test. Get you to your stations, get this underway.
This survival test is the utmost importance, I would say, out of any survival test, because if you win this, you're guaranteed to go on Journey 8.
You ready to show me what you're made of?
Yes.
Hit it!
Throw both ropes down.
Come on, babe. Go, Jet, go!
Ryan's the first one down.
Throw the green rope!
Jeff!
Throw the carabiner!
Rope!
Jeff didn't expect me to get down there so fast, so I kept yelling his name. I was afraid he might not hear me.
Jeff!
Everyone else was making their way down, clipping onto the bags.
Rope! Rope! Don't both!
Come on, babe. Get it in there.
Okay, Austin's working his way out the manila rope.
Way to go, Austin!
Austin, first one back to the top.
Okay, go.
This could be the fourth win for Jim and Austin.
Let's go. Keep it up.
Lucky's on the rope.
Dad, you look awesome.
Chris hauling his way up the line.
You're one VA only.
You gotta get the rope on that.
Gotta get it right here.
Come on, come on, come on.
You're the last man up, Ryan.
I need that rope.
Yep.
Jim and Austin getting ready to haul.
Now pull. You have a Z. Okay, yeah, just keep going. Keep pulling. Keep pulling. Good job, Dad.
Coming up.
Pull, 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 pull.
Up for grabs, that trip to the feast pit, safety from elimination, and later. 25 minutes to light one of those things is crazy. You know, this is Journey 7. You guys have got to improvise. Think smart. You're the last man up, Ryan.
I need that rope.
Yep.
Jim and Austin getting ready to haul.
Now pull. What's the deal? Okay, yeah, just keep going. Keep pulling. Keep pulling. Good job, Dad.
Oh, we gotta put the rope through it.
No, not this rope.
Ryan and Madeline, it's looking more like a snake's wedding of ropes at the moment than a proper 3-in-1 hoist.
I'm confused.
Hold on, that can't be right. There was just a little bit of confusion with the knots. We crossed some of the ropes. Keep this down there. Keep that right there.
Ryan and Madeline, still tangled.
Pull, pull. Right there, right there, right there.
Okay, you adjust the pressing.
Jim and Austin are starting to haul their bag.
Go, 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 go.
Hey, yeah, the pressing's on the wrong side.
Chris and Jeff, good to go.
There, now it's ready. Now okay, go. Go, go, go. This isn't sliding correct.
We started pulling, but it just wasn't moving. So we made some adjustments.
Kid, just get ready to pull it.
I kind of was just zoned out, and I knew that we had to really kick it in high gear if we were going to win this thing.
There you go.
Okay, go, 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 go.
It's bound up.
Okay.
Lucky and Louie, you're clear to start hauling.
Go, Dad, go! Go, go, go!
Here comes Chris and Jeff.
Go, just keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. Pull, 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 pull.
Jim and Austin are back in this.
We're almost there. Go, go. We're almost there. Okay. Keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling.
Chris and Jeff moving into the lead.
Pull, 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 pull.
Go, go, pull it, pull it.
Not pulling.
It's not.
Quit clacking it. Go, Daddy, go!
Here comes Lucky and Louie.
Go, harder, faster!
Go, pull. Chris and Jeff still going strong.
We're almost there. Go.
Lucky's giving everything he's got.
Go, Dad, go! Go!
Lucky and Louie! Hallelujah!
Oh, it's about time! I love you! I mean, I wasn't sure who was gonna go home tonight, and now that it's not gonna be us, I'm like, fit to burst a little bit.
You're the first team to be guaranteed a shot at running this final journey.
Good job.
I've got a snake's wedding of ropes to sort out. Catch you up. See you in my camp. Good job.
Fajitas! It's Mexican!
Holy Moses.
Oh my gosh. I just want this all in my belly right now.
If there was ever one to win, this was it. We're the only team walking into Bears camp safe from elimination.
We may have waited till the very last second to win, but I'm glad we did.
And guarantees you a spot in the finals.
Feels pretty darn good.
I'm proud of us.
I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
It wasn't the outcome I wanted.
Of course, we wanted to win, but even if we didn't win, we were hoping one of you two would win.
Yeah.
See Lucky and Louie win was very disheartening to me. They were the one that deserved to go home based on performance.
I hate to see any one of three teams leave.
Thought how it's gonna work out tonight.
When we opened the PNG box, we saw my favorite thing in the world.
Oh,
Toilet paper.
your dreams just came true.
Getting the opportunity to use toilet paper. Thank you, Charmin. The shampoo, the conditioner, the body spray, the deodorant is gonna make a huge difference for us. It makes us feel like people again.
Oh, life is good, Dad. Like everybody knows, bears see stuff that we don't all see, and
And in the end, none of us are Bear Grylls. I'm worried about going into Bears camp tonight just simply because our team had a hard time getting the fire lit.
it's one of the things, that he's gonna look at when he's sending somebody home tonight.
I think everything that was right here was one. Well, I had a few setbacks. It was difficult for me, and at this point we're kind of worried, but it feels that we've finally started to evolve into what he's looking for.
You know which one of these is yours?
I think we're all nervous because once again we have no idea what's coming. This journey was one task per team, and you're on the line for that.
Good to go.
And as Bear said, the margin of error gets smaller and smaller.
Coming up, the rewards in life go to the dogged. I'm just not sure you guys will get out alive. Okay, heroes. Packs down, grab a log. I'm looking at 4 incredible teams here. You're the 4 teams who show me that you can put up with fatigue and hunger and pain and hardship. And I'm proud of you. Lucky and Louie are springing your step tonight because you know you're safe. Winning that survival test means you're also guaranteed that chance to run this final journey tomorrow. You've got a 1 in 3 chance of winning that $500,000 grand prize. But, Lucky, you know that snow's a good insulator, don't you? Ryan, could have been blowing 40 knots of wind out there. Would that windbreak have saved you?
I think we would have had some major issues if the wind was blowing.
You
40
would have
knots.
had some major issues. I can tell you, you would have had some major issues. I'd say, Lucky, you got lucky to have won that survival test. Okay, let's get into the journey. Madeline, there's a little bit of a hiccup on the way in. You know, what happened there?
We just started going up, and turbulence was bad. Ryan is so big, half my body was hanging out, and we just started going up and down, and literally I just started panicking.
I don't underestimate how hard that is for you. You've got to keep control of those very human feelings, or they'll overrun you. You lived? That's good.
Thank you.
So then, obstacle team led off, Jim and Austin. How do you felt it went?
You know, for a couple of novices, I think it went fairly well.
Ryan, I saw you bang in the middle, the bigger, strongest guy. I would have put him at the back. Order of march on a glacier is important.
This was our first time crossing.
But again, I explained, one man goes into the front, it's up to the others to haul him out. You know, for me, it was super logical. Put the strongest guy at the back. You don't need a book for that. So then you got to the crevasse. Do you find supper all right?
We did.
Chris?
Jeff volunteered to go into the crevasse.
Just being devil's advocate, Jeff is a guy carrying injuries. You know, crevasse is a icy, precarious, dangerous place to be. Was that the smartest choice to send him down?
He volunteered, like...
I was actually the one that insisted. I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it.
You gotta be careful in the wild. You know, you get injured down there, you're suddenly a liability to the group. You know, sometimes you gotta put your ego right aside, and you only have to fall down 30-odd feet, and then you're totally wedged.
Yeah.
And you're also totally screwed. Ryan and Madeline, you in charge of fire?
Yes.
Tell me the truth, how long from start to finish to when you had fire?
I would say 20 to 25.
25 minutes to light one of those things is crazy. I'm gonna show you this. Okay. This is what you're using, okay? You know, this is Journey 7, and it's not a bone drill and a friction fire and dry grass. It's a lighter block. So, wow. 11 seconds.
I don't think we realized that we were supposed to take that block out of the pack.
You guys have got to improvise. Think for yourselves. Think smart. Jim, who'd you say just over this last journey, who had to dig the deepest?
I think Jeff had to dig the deepest because of the pain.
Jeff, are you capable of continuing?
It has been really difficult for me, and it will probably be difficult for me in the next journey. I think that I have the capacity to push myself through anything.
Think?
I know I do, because there's nothing that would stop me from doing something unless I literally could not function any longer.
This is getting harder for me. Genuinely. Jim and Austin, I think there's a pattern of just trying to do it on your own. You've got all of these strong people around you willing to help. You're not using that. You're not using that brain power or that physical power to help the whole group survive and thrive.
We're trying to be team players and learn and grow from every experience.
Do you feel you've grown?
I think in many ways, yes. I think we are becoming stronger, more aware.
Ryan and Madeline, I think there have been a few occasions where I've set you a clear task and you haven't delivered well enough on it. You know, your shelter in that last journey was bad. And that fire wasn't a delivery in my book.
I think we did a a good job on the fire. I know it took us a long time to get it started. I know it was dumb. We should have unwrapped the thing and lit it with one
So
strike.
who would you send home?
I don't know. I don't think it should be Ryan and I.
Ryan.
Based on our task over Journey 7, I feel like 2 teams failed and 1 team can't be eliminated, and the other team would be Madeline and myself, the fire team.
Don't talk yourself down. You're better than that.
Well,
You know?
I'm just
I
trying
hate
to
when
be.
he does that.
I'm just trying to be honest. If you fail at your task, it's known and you can't hide that. It did take us 25 minutes to start a fire when he lit it in 11 seconds. You know, I just always try to be honest with myself and honest with everyone around me. That's the way I was made. You know, I don't know any other way to say it.
Okay, this is getting harder and harder for me. Because smaller and smaller group, tougher decisions, smaller and smaller margins. But ultimately, I've got to send one more team home. I've made my decision, and the wild is always revealing. And the lesson is, the rewards in life don't always go to the biggest, or the bravest, or the smartest. The rewards go to the dogged. And when you're going through hell, the person who just keeps going. Ryan and Madeline, I think your performance on your task this journey was poor. And I think out of these 3 teams, I'd say Jim and Austin are more dependable. And I'd say Chris and Jeff just wanted that little bit more. And on that basis, I'm just not sure this time you guys will get out alive. Sorry. Come and hand in your knives. You guys should be so proud of yourselves. Genuinely. Madeline, I'm a convert. There's a girl who knows how to push through pain. But I think you've learned more about each other, more about yourselves through this than many married couples learn through 10 years. You should be proud of what you've done. Special couple.
I don't feel like I fell on my sword at all. I felt like I was just being open and honest.
In the end, we gave it our all and we gave it all our heart, doing the craziest things in the world that I never thought I would be able to do.
It's been totally life-changing for me. You really find your inner self, something that you just can't find and discover on your day-to-day job, you know, going to school or going to work. You have to do something drastic like this and really find yourself. At the end of the day, I've gained something from this experience that money can't buy, and that's a closer bond with my future wife. Our relationship is so much stronger than it was before we came here.
We've just grown in so many different ways. I've learned so much about him, and I couldn't think of anybody else I would want to share this with.
Thank you. Appreciate everything.
Come here. Okay, for the rest of you, your hardest, toughest journey is about to begin. The weather forecast, next 2 days, it's horrific. I like that because it's going to bring out the best in you. And at the end of it, one team will walk away with $500,000. At dawn, those rotors truly are turning and burning. Proud of you. Get back to camp.
All new Get Out Alive. Next Monday at 9/8 Central, here on NBC.